guys, I am Chris Taylor.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin, and today we're back with you for Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 10.
We can't do this anymore. It's not about fighting.
I know it's about the pushing.
Farming.
Farming, sorry.
Last episode, after the retainers hit him in the head with a shovel, Thorfinn had a dream about him again falling down the precipice, and he saw the bottom of it, which was filled with blood and people, just zombies, right? Corpses fighting each other.
Losing themselves in insanity with the fight.
Over this, right? Everyone is your enemy. And he saw Askeladd there too. Askeladd, who still, he was in the madness, but a little above everyone else, and he was still conscious enough, and he had a great conversation with Thorfinn about how this is life, basically. This is what being a warrior is for a lot of people. This is what he meant when he said people are beasts when they fight, right? And Thorfinn was stuck in there because of Askeladd, but he got stuck in there for most of his life at this point. And when he became empty, he got out, and now he has an opportunity to reach the top where his father is. But he needed to understand that, they were corpses and stuff grasping at him. Those were his victims, and this was his load, right? This was his battle to carry them out of the precipice.
Stop trying to escape your guilt and your burden, but try to live with it and move forward.
And understand that, violence only brings violence, and you should be looking for other ways, right? You have no enemy. No one deserves to be killed, just like his father said. So when he woke up, he told Einar that he wanted to make a big change. His hands had killed too many people, and he was not happy about punching the retainer. He was gonna basically swear off violence from now on. Now he's working extra hard to get his freedom, to get the farm going, and he looks a bit different, and I'm glad he had this.
A bit?
Yeah. He had a good talk. Askeladd usually helps him with that, and it's interesting.
But big difference now. Thorfinn was willing to listen to Askeladd's word of wisdom.
He was dangling above the insanity. I don't think he had a choice, but yeah. So he's freed himself from that, and now he can move forward. Still carrying the load, but that is his battle. So let's jump in this episode and see how he manages. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions.
Alright, let's go!
It took him half a season to just understand he wanted to live.
To wake
He
up.
was so damaged, man. And it's not over. Because like I said last episode, swearing off violence is one thing, but the world will still be ugly. You just need to be strong enough not to answer the world with violence.
Do you think that Canute will drown in his own insanity of violence, or in his way to achieve his dream of a world peace?
He's somewhere else. Canute is spreading violence for a purpose he believes is important, because he has given up on the world as it is. He's also lost. I mean, their work is progressing so much. There's less forest.
Just muscles.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
And he's smiling more. Oh, last episode was good for him. You can use one hand like a badass. Let's go. Oh wow. I was thinking there's less forest. There's no forest. Wow. He's laughing. Finally.
二人で森一個畑にしちまったよ。
3年以上
3 years.
So 22, 23?
俺たちのものだったらね。
そこが奴隷のやりきれないとこだな
Yet.
そろそろだな
パテールさんが教えてくれたよ。俺たちの自由が買い物です。
Oh gosh.
釣りも来るらしい。
It's almost done. And then what do you do? Think of the rest, right?
エイナルはどうするんだ
Farm. Find a way to free our need.
どうかな。家族はもういねえし、それに
アルネイズさんのことか
Can we buy her freedom?
Does it mean that the master will be willing to sell her?
彼女を手放す気
To
がないから
attach. We steal her.
お前は
Go
や
back
っぱ
home.
りアイスランドに帰るのか。
He can go to Vinland with his family.
そうだな。
Yes. I hope that his mom and sister are still alive.
ぼんやりしてんな。
お互い様だろ。
Just tell Leaf you're free so he stops looking for you.
やれやれ。いざ自由が目前に迫ってくると。
When you've been a slave for so long, freedom is a bit scary, I'd assume, because you just don't know what to do with it.
やってみたいことはまだいろいろはっきりとしてなくてな。お前はどう思う？戦争と奴
That's a
隷をな
big
くすこと
dream.
は。
That's a really big dream.
We're in 2024. We still have it.
Both, yeah. But it's a purpose for him.
そうだな。
It ties in with what Canute is trying to do at the end. It's just that he wants to completely stop violence, and Canute is okay with using
Yeah.
violence to reach his
最
goal.
後の一本をやっつけたな。
Oh my god, Omar's aged!
この土地は種まきまでに整地できそうか？
急げば多分。
よし。では少し負けてやろう。お前たち二人は自由の身だ。
You're a good one, man.
Well, at least
Thank
with
you.
them.
トルフィン、エイナル。
Yes, they did.
なんだ。
It's
You
surprising.
just can't believe it.
あいやいやおっしゃーなあトルフィン
やったー。
喜ぶのはまだ早い。わしが帰ってくるまで待ってもらうぞ。
お出かけですか。
ところでお前
I
たち
hope he comes
横
back.
断を知らんか？
Me too.
こちらにはいらしてませんが。
Oh, is he dead, you think?
He was already old.
横断にあったら伝えてくれ。イエリングの王宮へ行ってくるとな。
He might not come back. What happens then?
種まきまでには戻るだろう。成長を済ませておきなさい。はい。
The fact that they made it a point for him to say where he was going, I'm a bit afraid.
そうだ。このままわしのところで奉公する気はないか？
No, man. I'm going back to Iceland.
Well, Einar doesn't know and he wants to stay close to
考
Arnid.
えておき
Yeah,
なさい。
true.
But then he'd rather she's free, so I don't know.
Maybe he has to work to free her.
Make it well, but she's the master's confidant. He cares too much, like he's too attached.
失礼します。陛下。本船はじきにイエリングに到着い
He'll
た
be
し、
there too, okay?
クヌート
I
兵
was like, who has such a big beard?
What do you look like now that you're king?
Well, the same. It's just this angle was weird.
Man, you've changed since the first
But
season.
I've been talking about how I was surprised nothing happened with his brother. Because he was supposed to be king and then Canute took over. So now they're going there. They'll all be there. What's going to happen? It could be a Svein assassination 2.0. Like a plan could be in motion here. I don't know.
じきに馬が整います。
久しぶりの故郷だ。
クヌート陛下、お喜び申し上げます。
兄王陛下のご容体はどうか。
ハラルド陛下のご体調、この一月はさらに病が進み、お話もままならぬご
Okay,
様子
so there might not be an actual political problem then.
もってどれほどか。
Unless he also is responsible for...
Mysterious illness?
数日が峠と。
世の名代での見舞い、大義であった。玉打ち遊び。兄王陛下はあれの得意な方だった。世と遊んでくださった。
Aww.
玉をよーく見ろよ、クヌート。次期王位をめぐって反目し合っていたが、そんなことには当時
So he was
は
nice
な
then.
かった。
We never really met him, so I've had a lot of questions.
ラグナル、
He needs to learn how to get up by himself. Be strong. He was teaching him.
Ragnar always been a mother hen for Canute.
あいつはお前が思ってるより
He never underestimated him. I like that.
もう少し
お見事です。
Well, we did. Canute, when we met him, was a sheltered little prince. Emotionally scarred, but still sheltered.
こんなに着てるから動きづらいんだよ。ついよ。脱いでいい？
なりません。備えを怠ってはなりません。いかなる時も
強く優しいお方だった。 兄王陛下にはお礼を申し上げねばな。
And then he swooped in and he kind of took the title of king and everything, right? Politics got in the way. Oh shit.
ほらわっぱども
Are you troubled, Canute?
I mean, he too never faced his guilt and his
Well, I've been
trauma
told
from back then.
the Earl he forced to help a few episodes ago that ended up poisoning or allegedly poisoned his king was punished and killed for what he did.
Yeah.
So Canute is responsible for the death of a lot of people.
父からそれぞれに
Okay.
ハントを
Finally, this is what I
してい
needed.
たデンマークを弟のクヌートは良好であった
Okay.
Okay, at least.
I didn't know. Like,
クヌートのイングランド王即位後間もなく着手はいなかった
So he's gonna take over then?
本当にイエリングにいらしてたのね。
I can't help but
陛
wonder
下と呼びなさい、エストリス。
if, in the purpose of the big dream, was he responsible? It's like it's too many coincidences.
ハラルド王、
クヌート兄様がお見舞いに来てくださったのよ。
無理にお越しするな。お話は陛下のお加減の良い時を選ぼう。
Just him having memories of his brother always helping him, saying you need to be strong on your own, and then had visions of cut heads that he's responsible for. I feel like
ハラルド王、何も心配はございません。
そなたにデンマークを
そうなことを申されますな。また玉打ち遊びにでも興じましょうぞ。
大したものだがクヌート、そ知らぬ顔でそんな嘘がつけ
It's
る
his
の
father,
だ。
right?
uh-huh.
自身が毒を持
I
った
fucking knew
相
it.
手を見舞うか、何を成し遂げるという。
It doesn't matter, right? It's earthly like worries.
好意的であった。殺す必要がある。できたはずだ。ためなどではない。野心が宿って
That's the guilt
海の
speaking.
帝王たらん
But there might be a bit of truth, right?
がな。
I mean, his father did say that the crown posed under mine.
王冠の呪いなのだ。デンマークとイングランド、倍苦しむことになろう。
急にぼんやりしてご病気なの？
No. He's done a lot in his little life, and it's hard to deal with everything.
大事ない。
Because, like, he believes he's doing it for a better purpose than his father ever did, but he is still doing exactly what his dad said. It's like thinking he was, like, higher than everyone else, and that his purpose was better, and that his dream was the way to go. He ended up becoming what he hated.
お飲み物をお持ちしました。
それはどこのものか。
どこ？
Is it from my brother's collection? No,
Well,
thank you.
if he's been poisoning people, he'd be wary.
喉は渇いていない。
自身が毒を用いるからよ。
And since it's his subconscious that says that, we can believe some of it. It's so creepy.
少々いたずらが過ぎますな、スベン王。
極まりつつあるということだ。
国家の統一が前提です。いずれ災いの元となる。
Keep telling yourself that.
ハラルド王の死は必要なのです。
なかなかどうして考え方をするようになったで
He
は
was
ないか
supposed to prove him wrong.
とよ。何を笑う。
かつて私はあなたを憎み、だが今はどうだ。私が腹を割って話せるのは
He is you.
仲良うしましょうぞ。同志。
To imagine that this little cutie
よし、
Will become
killed
like a
this
man
kid.
like this.
Yeah.
行くぞクルート。
There's the fact that, and every step of the way, he just helped him. You know?
そなたも来い。
はい、父上。すまんクヌート、続きはまただ。
ありがとう兄上。
強くなるんだ。 父上よりもだ。いいな。
はい。
Kind of like his last words almost.
私目が開いてですと許して倒されられ
こんなものか。どうということはない。
You think you've been imagining cut heads?
You're gonna slowly drown in your guilt, man.
I feel like having Thorfinn be like, he's looking for a purpose, right? And he's saying, you think it's possible to rid the world of war and pain, suffering, violence, all of that? Unfortunately, no. Because there will always be someone who wants something that's not theirs to have, right? Humans are greedy by nature almost. And I mean, for some of us, it's easy to move forward and let that go. Like for some people manage, but there will always be someone who can't do that.
There will always be conflict.
So unfortunately, like Canute and Thorfinn at this point have very similar goals for different reasons, right? Thorfinn has lived a life of violence and anger, and now he's a slave, so he's lived it all, and his father taught him to let go of all of that and go for a future without violence, like let go of violence. He's imagining a world where everyone could do that, because they would be free by letting go of that mentality. So he's trying to achieve that. Canute lost Ragnar, and he found out about what true love was, and he figured out that everything they've been taught about God is not fake per se, because he still believes in God, but he's like, if there is a God up there and you force us to go through this life and we never really get our reward, it's unfair and it's fucked up, and that is not true love, because there's a condition to it, right? Like we suffer to get the reward. That's not true love. Like true love is about giving or receiving without expectations, right? Like it exists and that's it. So he's trying to achieve a utopia in this world, because he kind of like, some people were talking about this in the comments, but his anger at his own father, he kind of also like replicated it and sent it at God as well, right? It's his own issues with his father that led to him wanting to completely separate from the father figure and create something himself that represented the ultimate reward, the utopia that they all should deserve, because no pain, they should not go through pain at all, right? Like he's lived it too, and he wants to get rid of that. Except, I feel like he got the power that Thorfinn doesn't have, and Thorfinn being a slave, he's lived at the lowest level, whereas Canute has lived at the lowest level of the upper class, right? He's lived in the shadows of royalty.
Now that you mentioned the upper class, because it is, even though he was at a low point in his life, he was still a prince. He was still privileged by his life, basically.
But he's got the power too. Like basically, if Thorfinn decided to do just the same as Canute, which he basically said he wanted to rid the world of violence and stuff, he wouldn't have the power to necessarily do that. Whereas Canute saw an opportunity through the crown, right? Because when you're king, you're the law. You basically decide where to bring your country.
You're the one making the decision, yeah.
Yeah, except there is, his father was right about that, there is a curse that comes with the crown. It's the expectation, right? When you're a ruler, you need to stay the ruler. You can't just do whatever you want, right? Like you need to follow the rules or change your rules in a certain way, but basically keep the power necessary to do that. So when he became king, in order to achieve his utopia, he started realizing, first of all, my country, which was England, I didn't know, by the way, how they handled the whole, like, Svein is dead, how we have 2 kids now, like, what do we do with them? Now we know. So Harald had Denmark and he had England, and England rebelled. So first he had to whip them into shape, because how can you bring utopia if only a part of the country listens to you? And he had the power to do that. So he whipped them into shape, and he allowed himself to kill, manipulate, and bring people to perpetuate violence, all in the goal of eventually getting rid of all that violence.
He's going with the motto, killing the few to save the many, basically.
But like, compared to Thorfinn, I think, who was already spreading violence, he already went that path, and now he's dealing with the grief. I feel like Canute is barely starting, and he's saying, this is nothing. The guilt, the bad feelings, the visions of cut heads, because he's killed people. He went through what, like 3-4 years of that? It's nothing compared to Thorfinn. And unfortunately, being king, he is responsible, but maybe it's not as jarring because he's not the one holding the sword.
But I mean, I think it's the fact that he still has that purpose in mind that I need to do this for my bigger my big goal at the end of it.
But and
Thorfinn was killing people left and right because his goal was his revenge for Askeladd. And when he reached that goal at the end, he wasn't able to reach it. So I'm thinking that maybe if Canute reached the end of it and is not able to have his utopia,
but he'll never
because
reach
it is not possible to achieve.
He'll never reach it because, like I said, there's always going to be someone willing to take something that's not theirs, or do some shit. Like, you can't force people to change, right? Like, it has to come from them. So Canute believing he has all the answers is one thing, but he is destroying himself and becoming his father by using the power of the crown to reach his utopia. And the power of the crown, yes, allows him to have his country, have his kingdom, and now he wants to spread it, because the more people he controls, the more chances he thinks he has of bringing the utopia. But because he's doing he's spreading violence, and he's creating a world where nothing has changed. And it basically, like, he thinks they're doing this for a purpose, which I respect him for wanting to create this utopia. But the way he's doing it, it's just causing more harm. And since we know there's not going to be an end to this crusade, he's just going to be spreading misery for no reason.
Is the fact that I don't know how King Harald used to rule his kingdom in this anime. I just thought maybe he seems to be a good guy, a good king, a good human being. I mean, I like him in Vikings Valhalla. That's for sure.
King Canute?
King Harald.
Oh, Harald. Okay.
Harold, sorry.
Well, they're not the same people.
I know, but he seems to be in Vinland Saga. He seems to be.
No, but the Harald in Vikings Valhalla is not Canute's brother.
I know.
So they're not the same people.
I know. I still like Harald from Vikings Valhalla.
Yeah, but you can't compare her.
Not the same character, but still. To me, looks like King Harald, Canute's brother, seemed to be a good king to his people.
He was a nice guy too.
Was a nice guy too. Someone who has morals, from my understanding, and he got killed.
But Canute's views of how, what love is transcend this. So that's why for him, like, the purpose is more important than what he has to destroy to get there. Basically, he's saying the world is rotten because of, how God made it and how we made it. And you guys have no purpose beyond just killing and destroying each other. I'm going to give you a purpose. But he's willing to destroy, torch down what's already there in order to achieve what he believes is going to be the utopia. Except you're one guy and there's no way he's going to manage. Unfortunately, we know we live in today's world. It's better, but it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. So dude, he was saying, I'm going to give you a purpose because you're doing this for no reason. Like, right? You want to kill someone? Follow me, I'll tell you who to kill, because it will lead to something that means something. But if his utopia never comes to fruition, he will have done all of this for nothing. He killed his brother, he's killing his brother, who was the one person who didn't look down at him, didn't underestimate him. Even Ragnar was just treating him like a China doll, and his brother, saw the strength in him, and he wanted to teach him, elevate him, and he was spending time with him. He was a good guy, and that's how he treats him, because for him, this was an expression of love, right? But for Canute, it's just not worth it. It's not true love. There's more to reach for. So he's destroying all of that, and he's dealing with the guilt. He's dealing with the visions and all the emotions. He's dealing with it, thinking it's nothing because he believes the goal is worth everything. But what happens when you figure out that it's never gonna happen?
Same thing that happened to Thorfinn when he reached his goal and Askeladd got killed in front of his eyes.
Yeah.
Because right now, like I said, everything that Canute is doing doesn't matter, because the high the prize is at the end of it, and it's gonna reach it, and everything's gonna be for a bigger purpose at the end of it.
But when he reaches it, or if he gets close to it, it's not gonna change shit. Kind of like if Thorfinn had killed Askeladd, nothing would have changed. His father would not be alive suddenly. His anger would not necessarily disappear, right? We talked about how getting your revenge doesn't correct anything, doesn't make anything better. Well, Canute thinks that right now it's okay to spread misery and spread war and death, because at the end there's gonna be the reward I'm gonna give you. Like, he's reaching not for something that God gives them, because he doesn't believe in that, something he's gonna create on earth, but we know it's never gonna happen. So just like revenge won't bring anything to Thorfinn, or wouldn't bring anything to Thorfinn, his utopia won't bring anything to Canute. It will just spread misery.
If Canute is the only one on the throne at the end, and he's in charge of every single country, no one will be there to just have a conflict with him.
Except if you invade, like, right now he's gonna be, like, king of Denmark and England. That's just two kingdoms, two countries in the whole world. The whole world is freaking, wide, man. Like, it's not gonna be enough. And so what happens next? Like, he had to kill, and that's, people are going to be whispering. If people start saying, like, geez, I think he might have poisoned his brother. Like, if people start saying shit, who's to say that someone won't try to murder him? Like, he's already worried that people might try to poison him. And if he decides to invade, because we know Canute in Vikings Valhalla was doing that, trying to create an empire, right? He was spreading his influence. In order to do that, you need to invade. When you invade, you leave people pretty miscontent behind. Like, you leave people with a sense of, like, I need revenge. You're spreading the hatred.
And you know what's worse? We kind of know what happened when you have an empire that is bigger and bigger and bigger. It just crumbles on itself.
You can't handle it on your own. And that's, Canute is not immortal. When he dies, whatever he creates,
who's gonna take his place?
Exactly. Right now he has no kids.
He doesn't have a wife either.
Yeah. But, like, whatever you create, man, when you die, what happens next? It'll always create... Basically, the more power you have, the more power you have to give to, the more issues you'll have when it's time to give it. Because people are greedy. People want more, something they don't have. It'll create, just like, him and his brother, it will create competition. It'll create expectations and stuff. And he is also destroying his own character by becoming cold and not caring about, like, what lives he destroys. Just the fact that he betrayed and killed his brother, and the fact that he's having visions. It's not his dad who's hunting him. It's his subconscious telling him, dude, you're becoming your dad. And he's brushing it off by saying, so that's it? That's the price I have to pay for the crown? That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing. You just started. You just started and you're already having visions. I'd say it's big. So even though I thought it was really, when he was younger, I thought it was really interesting how Canute was thinking and what he wanted to achieve. Now, with the power of the crown, the way he's achieving it, I am kind of against it. I'm actually very against it, because he believes he's doing it for a good reason, but there's no proof that he'll ever reach the reward from this. So basically, he's spreading violence and misery and war for no reason. And that's exactly what he was saying to everyone. I'm gonna give you a reason, because now you're fighting for nothing. Well, he's also fighting for nothing if he never reaches the goal.
Is the fact that it's like the fact that do you recall Avengers Age of Ultron? Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
The fact that they wanted to create a program who's gonna pinpoint based on data who's gonna become a criminal and exterminate.
That's Winter Soldier.
You sure? Okay. In any case, he poisoned his own brother because eventually he thinks that he might go against him. So it's to prevent what never happened yet.
Not giving chances to people, but that's because he believes he's the only one with the knowledge and the comprehension necessary for his utopia. But he's gonna turn into, like, a bad leader. Like, he's turning into someone people will or could hate and try to overthrow. His empire will crumble.
I mean, can we call kings dictators? because they're the only one in charge, basically. And what
Monarchs, no, but it's
what they
something
say
else.
goes?
He's
Monarchy.
a monarch, yeah, but I mean, monarchs can be overthrown as well, right? He did it. I'm just saying I'm not a big fan of how he's doing things now because, like, giving up, like, understanding this new version of love back in the day led to him being completely disconnected to all four forms of love around him. Like, for him, nothing matters. And he no longer has a father to hate, so it's not about his emotions, it's not about what he wants anymore. It's just about, like, he's done all of that at this point. He's got this big purpose, he's not gonna stop, he's gonna do more to achieve it.
I mean, it is something to use those means against someone that you're in conflict and at war with to end the war quickly instead of taking decades to succeed.
And he's aware too, his father telling him, the weight of the crown, the curse of the crown, that's on you now and stuff. His subconscious telling him that means that he's aware.
Yeah.
He's doing exactly the same stuff his father used to do. And yeah, it is one thing to use poison to end the war quickly.
I mean, we kind of were okay with it last time we saw it, right?
Well, there's a big difference between, like, I am at war with the guy who claims to be king and this is my kingdom. I'm gonna use poison to save lives because, like, if we go to war, people will die on the battlefield. If I use poison, it's not honorable, but at least it's over quickly and I'm safe from years of battles, right? That's one thing. It's another thing to kill your own brother because you expect issues in the future. If you do that to your brother, who's stopping him from doing that to anyone?
There's no limits.
Yeah.
So, can we talk about Thorfinn, Einar, and the master? Because we kind of went with Canute a lot for that
Well,
discussion.
that was the episode.
I know, but like you said, I'm a bit afraid that maybe their master won't be coming back.
Why?
If something happened.
Why? Well, at first I didn't know what was gonna happen in that town. Now, I'm like, he's going there maybe because Harold is gonna die. Canute is gonna be in charge. Canute could change some things, but I don't know how that would affect Thorfinn and Einar. Why wouldn't he come back? If fights break out, I don't know, but then why would they break out? Harold literally said, like, you have Denmark, right? Like, he just gave it, so it's not like there's gonna be a fight.
He can change laws, he can do stuff, I guess.
It might have been just as a transition, like, oh, I'm going there, and then we go there and see what's going on.
I don't know, it seemed kind of ominous to me.
Yeah, but then we switched to what was going on politically with that town, right?
We learned that he's poisoning his brother. This is ominous.
Yeah. But I don't see why. Like, I could be surprised, but considering what's happening in Jekyll,
Yeah.
considering what's happening there, I don't see why a fight would break out. Like, why he wouldn't come back. So right now I'm okay, and I'm actually really, like, glad he basically said, you don't even have, like, to buy your freedom anymore. Like, you bought enough. Now you just, spread the seeds over there, like, start the process, and then you don't have to wait for things to grow.
You're gonna be free.
So they're gonna be free, like, really, really soon.
Which
it's
is
been
really
3 years and already.
Do you think that Einar might decide to stay as a retainers and work for him?
Einar doesn't know what to do. Thorfinn, I know what I want him to do. I want him to go back home. If only, like, he might realize that there's no stopping people from fighting, so might as well start anew and go for Vinland.
Yeah.
Right? But go get your mom if she's alive. Go get your sister if she's alive. Go take care of your family and then take them to Vinland. Stop leaving.
Yeah,
from searching.
go and find Leaf and bring him back home, please.
Or just give him the satisfaction of bringing you home.
Yeah.
Because he's been looking nonstop. But Einar, he could earn, like, he'd be an employee. He could earn money working for a master, but as a free man, keep all the money and then potentially buy Arneid's freedom. But that's if he's allowing it to happen. Like, if the master,
true.
again, I keep forgetting his name, but if he allows Ketil, yeah, if he allows her to be bought, like, if he allows her to leave, because I said it, like, Einar said it best a couple episodes ago or last episode, but even when they are getting attached to you, they possess you, they own you, but when they care for you, you're still attached to them, right? You're not free, right? Like, even if he cares, this is still a situation where he's in charge and you have no choice but to follow.
There's a huge imbalance of power there.
There's no like moment where she's like, oh yes, I'm in a good position, because it's against her will and everything, and if he doesn't want to let her go, that's gonna be his business. She belongs to him. So Einar could stick around and either try and work on a way to get her out. If he steals her, that's gonna be really bad. I don't know. I kind of want him. I don't want him to leave Thorfinn, but I could see them go their separate ways after this. Right? They're friends and they will never stop being friends, but they don't have to stay attached at the hip all the time. And I think he might want to keep close to Arnid. So we'll see. But will he be okay leaving her there as a slave? I don't know. Is there a way other than stealing her? If the master dies, things could change. And it's not because, like, if the master dies, eventually, that doesn't necessarily mean his son, who'd get the slaves, won't follow through with the promise.
He could decide to just keep them and don't give them their freedom.
And maybe they go to the father if the father's still alive.
I'm guessing that the old master might be dead though.
They haven't seen him, but that doesn't mean he's dead. Maybe. I hope not.
Oh, this is ominous to me right now, so I'm thinking bad news, okay?
We'll have to see next episode, but we got great news for the boys. Hopefully it stays that way. I don't want to look at the title of the next episode. I don't want to crush my hopes.
Bad news.
Oh, shit. We're going to end this here and see next episode what happens. So thank you guys so much for watching this with us. If you want to see the next episode right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't, the next one will be on YouTube next week. So I'm going to see you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.